Hello everyone, my name is Taylor.
And I am Rae. And this is the story of two girls roughing in the digital wilderness, where one girl struggles with her sexuality.
That's Peyton.
The one struggling with her sexuality is Rae, yes. That is not what is happening. That is not what we're doing. Listen, I'm just going to point out that we are alone on this planet. No, we are not. There's a giant white slug guy who is helping us get off this planet. What, are you gonna hook up with a giant slug guy? Yes. I'm not gonna, I don't see why I have to hook up with somebody. Because for now you say, oh, it's fine, I'm good being alone. But what do you do in 2 years? 3, 4, 5, yes? Soon you will crave the physical affection. Then you will deny Peyton no longer. You know, I might settle for the slug guy. You don't know. Or maybe you could settle for one of the little yellow slimy guys. Or maybe not for anybody. Why do I have to settle for someone? It is the ideal question. In the cold loneliness of space, you are stranded on a planet with no one on it except for Peyton. How long before you have sex with her? I mean, not necessarily ever. I don't feel like
you could just try it.
People get isolated and they don't immediately have to have sex.
You are working on getting off the planet, right?
Okay, but suppose we never find the means to get off this planet. Still, no, probably no. What if you were paid, like, 1 million nanners, yes. On a deserted planet where I can't do anything but trade the money back to you? Okay, no, forget the deserted planet. Yes, let's say we are in civilization again. I give you 1 million nanners.
You could really use that money, Rae.
Yeah, but yeah, see? Okay, no, I couldn't use the money because prostitution is illegal, so I would get this 1 million nanners, like what, in cash? And then try to go to the bank with it, and the IRS would be like, what's this, ma'am? Okay, what if I pay you in installments? But yes. You can only get 600 nanners before the IRS cares, so you could only pay me $600 a year. And in 10 years, that's like 6,000 nanners. No, so we'll figure out a way. Okay, I buy you the restaurant, yes, and then we pretend we took in more cash than we said we did, and we wash the money, yes. You want to get me on a complex money laundering scheme to have lesbian sex that I'm only in it for the money? I buy you Lego box sets, yes, which you sell on eBay. It's a federal crime. Like, man.
Well, bottom line, Rae, do you take all this laundered money from Peyton to make love to her, to make sweet love to her, or do you settle for the fat, disgusting alien slug man?
Why does it have to be either or? Like, maybe I could just be like every other lonely woman, and I'll just read like smutty fictional romance novels.
Well, who's gonna write the novels?
Maybe the slug man. He might be very creative, and I haven't spoken to him. Who knows?
I like that. Not if you were the last man on Earth, but I would read smutty romance novels written by you.
That's a degree of separation I'm willing to accept. I'll take it. I'll write those novels for you, yes. Would you read them if I wrote them? Yes. I mean, not if you made it weird. But if you were cool about it, yeah. How do I make it weird? Yes. So, like, if the characters are obviously just a surrogate for you and me, like the character's the masculine of Peyton, which is Peyton, yes. Right, but, yes, so Peyton.
I mean, it's just Peyton. It's gender neutral, Peyton.
I mean, no, you can't name the other character Peyton and just be like, man, Peyton.
Like, I'm imagining this book where just like Rae gazed into Peyton's eyes, and then in parentheses, but Peyton was actually a man.
No, don't do that. Don't write about me either. Don't put my name in it. Write about fictional nobodies who I don't know. You know, that would suck. Yes, trying to write a book for the only other person on the planet, especially if they didn't want to be connected to your work in any way. Look, I'm not reading any kind of smutty thing that you write any other way, alright? Yeah, but with like an actual romance novel, you could check the book sales to see if things are going good, or you could read your comments on Amazon. But if it's just one person and they don't want to make eye contact with you about it, how do you know if it's any good? Well, I mean, if I'm reading all the books that the Slug Man writes, and all your books are gathering dust, those books would take months for me to write, right? Yes! Well, what else are you gonna do with your time, Peyton, where it's stuck on a stupid, tiny little planet? I could be developing other skills, yes! I could be hunting and gathering.
I really like the idea of this little micro-economy of like, well, there's 2 other people on the planet, the Slug Man and Peyton, and they both spend all their time writing books for the only attractive girl that either of them want to hook up with.
I have read that one of the reasons why men are hunters is not because they produce more meat necessarily that way. Like, in some societies, there's enough nuts and fauna for the women to produce enough of their own protein. It's just because women really like a guy who can hunt. So, you know.
A non-socially productive skill developed strictly for the purpose of mating.
Yes, exactly. And neither of them would get to mate as a result, but hey. Ridiculous romance novel slut! You wasted my life, yes! I didn't ask you to do it. I just benefit from it, and I never asked you to stop.
Why did you lead me on?
Okay, on the subject of there being other, like, intelligent life in the galaxy, you can get crew on your ship later on once it's functional. And it's just random what species the crew is. But on my solo playthrough, I got one guy who was like angel race or something like that.
Like a halo and wings and everything?
No, none of that. He was just sort of this effeminate looking guy with really big hair. And while he was walking around the ship, he kept having this little thought bubble that was just like, is concerned someone will find out his secret.
Oh, I see how it is. Yes, you don't want to hook up with Peyton, but as soon as a girly man shows up.
Like, think about this. Like, you have this just boyishly pretty guy with hair down to his waist, and it's so voluminous, and he's got a mysterious secret. Like, does that not sound like a trashy romance novel?
That sounds like one of those Japanese manga things.
It does. It sounds like it comes straight out of one of those mangoes, like a yaoi mango. What is his secret? What could it be? Is it that he's not actually a guy?
No, I got it. Okay, so the secret is that he's in love with you. But he's such a phenomenal lover that in the past it's killed women, so he can never truly share himself with you.
He's just straight up murdered him?
Yeah, just so good that their hearts give out in the act, and he doesn't want to kill again.
A deadly and terrible secret, and yet women are irresistibly compelled towards him.
He doesn't want anyone to find out, because the number one way to find out means certain death.
And then that you get that like permanent will they won't they situation because he wants the girl but he doesn't want to hurt her because of the love. Oh, it's perfect.
I know, right? Like romance material right now. I think those are doing really good right now.
I've actually seen a romance comic on the internet that's doing really great. And you know what its formula is? It's about two guys fighting over a girl, and the girl is interested in both of them, and then her tits are the size of her head. Yeah, nails down both demographic. It's like, here's the girl, look at the romance and the guys, they're into you, and then it brings in the guys because they're like, I'm gonna get to see the titties, right?
I mean, when does it not boil down to that?
I don't know.
Like, has there ever been a good romance novel that was popular in the history of romance novels?
I feel like whenever there's a good convincing romance, the book is never just about the romance, it's about other things too. Or, it's like a romantic comedy where there's lots of other elements to make it fun.
Yeah, romance alone is weird as a genre.
You know what, though? There was one mango that I'm aware of that's, like, really good. I don't remember what it's called. But the trick is that this girl likes this boy in high school, right? And so she comes to him and she says, she means to say, I'm in love with you, but instead she says, I'm your biggest fan. And it turns out that the guy makes mangoes. And he's like, oh, great. And so he gives her a signed copy of one of his mangoes. And then she's like, can we hang out? And he's like, sure. And what winds up happening is he ropes her into helping him do, like, the inking for his comic. And, cause she's, like, a fairly decent artist. And so she winds up just, like, going over to his house all the time to help him work on the comics. And it becomes one of the most convincing, like, romantic loves that I've probably read in a long time. Because they develop this partnership, and they actually have a lot in common, and they just sort of jive. Like, they're both a little bit... It's so cute. And it follows that rule of not being just about the romance. A lot of the whole thing is about making mangoes and the process thereof. So it's kind of like a story about making mangoes with the romance thrown in there as a strong component.
Well, yeah, that makes sense that you would find that convincing, because I feel like at a certain point, once you start paying your own bills, you're no longer looking for someone who just wants to sleep with you. You're thinking like, I need help.
Yeah. Oh, but the other thing that's fun about this is there's a comedy angle where the guy tries to get the girl to help him test out like various romantic situations, and they keep finding that all the tropes and like silly romantic things that people do in the stories, they're really not all that great when you do them in real life. Like, they're a huge hassle and a huge pain. But eventually the guy just keeps going back to the tropes because it's really what the readers want.
Well, tropes are a shorthand. Everyone kind of recognizes what they're trying to portray, and sometimes you can't break away from them.
I guess what I'm really getting at that I find charming about this angle is that you don't watch the development of a romance so much as you watch the development of a friendship and a partnership. And that's just so much more precious.
And yet here I am, just sulking. I'm your friend, Rae. I brought you bombs so you could advance through this dungeon, yes.
I mean... friendship is precious when it's platonic too, Peyton.
You won't even read my romance novel.
I mean, I didn't say I wouldn't. I just said don't make it weird. But then, I won't even have fun. I mean, like, alright, if you gotta make it weird, just understand I'm not gonna appreciate it on certain levels.
You know what? Actually, sitting down and writing out a novel sounds like a terrible idea. Yes, I don't even know if you'll want to read it all. Maybe I just do a short story.
Well, that's probably a good idea, just investment-wise, and oh my god.
What?
Peyton,
What?
did you take the last technology?
I was just sitting here on this pedestal. Yes, I got here first.
No, I need that to advance through the dungeon. I can't get to the next section without the ability to turn into a little Metroid ball.
Well, try it. Try and get it to drop from the thing again. Yes.
It does one time. You're not actually supposed to bring multiple people into this dungeon. Oh my god. Okay, so we gotta run the whole thing all over again.
Well, how am I supposed to know that? That's a design oversight. Yes.
I know. All right, well, we're not gonna show footage of the second run because it's basically identical. So next time, we'll be right where we left off. So here's a good place to wrap it up. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I hope you had a good time watching. If you want to read a comic about us, there's a link in the description below. And of course, we survive through donations on Patreon, so if you'd like to help us out, we'd really appreciate it. Otherwise, you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you later.